Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Geeking Out.
Hi.
Hi. I love that. It's just every time. Hi. Just from the
I'm just
background.
gonna do it every time.
Just shout from the background. Hi.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna stick with the theme of last year because it's still early in the year. Like we tried to get this done in
February.
January, but we've hit February now, and it's kind of like, let's do this and get it done. But
That should have been our thoughts last month, but oh well.
yeah, but at least this week we're going to be talking about games that we've enjoyed,
Yes, we are.
ones that we've played really or seen, and
Just anything we liked.
yeah, pretty much. And I've kind of gone for a bit of a controversial one because I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, but one of the games I put the most time in and I really love is Destiny 2. But I know a lot of people are like, oh, they've got so many faults with it. They've gone backwards since the end of Destiny 1, which they have a little bit. Yeah, I'll give people that. The Taken King, like, they've really figured out what they were doing. They've upped their game, and now they've kind of just gone, let's kind of go backwards a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't play Destiny or Destiny 2, but even I know it has like had a peak with like Taken King, and then Destiny 2 is just kind of a little bit lower.
Yeah. And it's sad because I really have loved the game. And I suppose part of the reason I love the game is because I've just kind of, not as much that I usually follow developers or anything, but I went through Halo, and then Bungie came out with this new game. I was like, well, they kind of actually did really well on Halo. Let's go see what they did this time.
And then they made Halo 5, and everyone was like, nah, forget these guys.
Well, no, that wasn't Bungie. It was after Bungie sold Halo.
All right.
The last game Bungie worked on was Reach. 4 and 5 were done by 343.
That's right. They fucked up Halo.
Yeah. But anyway, Destiny.
So stupid.
Yeah, I've just really enjoyed it. I like the whole, like, it is like a RPG. It's like the MMO side. Like, I didn't get to play the first one with like anybody really because my other friend who had it was on PlayStation. Jack, who obviously you guys have probably, well, basically every other video that I've done has been with Jack.
Hey,
Apart from this, that's what I mean.
I was going to say, what am I, chopped liver?
That's what I said.
Come
Every
on.
other video, everything that isn't podcast.
I don't mind you being with other people, just don't talk about them in front of me. God.
But yeah, so and he didn't get it until really late, so we didn't get a chance to play it. But this time, like, me and Jack both got it at the same time. We were able to play it, and we played through like the campaign. We recorded the campaign. Yes, it wasn't a very good recording because I didn't have my capture card at the time, but still, we played through it, and it was great. It was just so much fun. I love that aspect of playing with other people, and that's why I struggle doing like why there's no solo series on my YouTube at the moment, and why I don't really play games unless other people are about. But
I don't mind. I don't mind playing a game by myself, but unless someone does join in at some point, I do get really bored with the game quick.
yeah, it's like Minecraft. I won't ever play Minecraft on my own, even with somebody else. I'm like, I'm getting bored now.
I
But yeah,
can, I can agree with that. Like, I have to play a game like Minecraft with someone. Except I won't play it with my friend Connor because every time I make something nice, he'll just come over with a block of TNT.
sounds about right for Connor.
Yeah, fucking Connor.
But yeah, and like, I just like the whole like magical fantasy side that they've done with Destiny. I know I did enjoy the new expansion, Curse of Osiris, and it was
Don't
just
forget about that chicken.
the chicken. Ah, it's brilliant. Like I heard about it for ages, and because me and Jack weren't recording it yet, like I hadn't worked through and I hadn't got that far, and it was brilliant when you got there. I just love Cade. Nathan Fillion is just great. I
Yeah,
think everything, like, even though like obviously Destiny 5 was pretty rubbish, but him as Buck, he's great. He's always funny. He's just that casual comedy, and it's brilliant.
mm, can't top him. Yeah. For me, one of my favorite games of 2017 was Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Never played the Uncharted series.
We see, I never played the game until Uncharted 4,
Yeah,
which was a really stupid move because that was meant to be the last game.
yeah, it was.
So it was kind of like, oh, I really love this game, and then it was like, oh, that's it, fuck, and it's like you can't backpedal in a game.
No, not really. Is it? Well, I've done it
You can't
before.
go
I've done
back
it
in
with.
time.
I went backwards with Assassin's Creed. Like I started. I think I started at 3 and then played the first 2. Well, the first 4.
Mm, I think Assassin's Creed is different now because it's like because Uncharted, it's just like I knew what happened in the other games, and it was like a really solid story all the way up until 4, and it was like, right, do I now want to go play a set of games that have a little less quality each time I go down and don't have as many game mechanics in them, or am I just gonna live with Uncharted 4? And I went, I'm gonna live with Uncharted 4.
Yeah, which I don't. I don't blame you
I
about.
was, and I was just kind of content with that. Like, that's it. Okay, if I ever get nostalgic, I could just go play that. And then they said Uncharted Lost Legacy's coming. I was like, fuck yes! And it was honestly, it was such a great treat. Honestly, I enjoyed it. I said honestly way too much. Honestly, uh,
Yeah, no, I've not really like. I've seen bits about it, and I suppose I just kind of like. I've compared it to like Tomb Raider, which I've never played either, but I know they're like very similar games and everything.
they have similar aspects. Yeah, Tomb Raider is obviously a bit more like they focus a bit more on the deaths, I think, but the multiple ways that the character can just die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
But
I'm not really.
Uncharted is a nice series because you get to learn a little bit about what you're after, even if some of it is just made up.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure a lot of
But
it's just random stuff.
but one of the things that I thought was really great about Uncharted Lost Legacy was this whole other side to it. Because obviously, in all of the Uncharted games, it had been from Nathan Drake's perspective.
Yeah,
And it was like, right, you're Nathan Drake. That's it. Everybody else is either a friend or an enemy.
yeah.
But in this game, you got to play as someone who was a friend that turned enemy, then turned friend again. And I
Oh,
thought, interesting. And
yeah.
then your kind of like sidekick character partner, whatever, was an enemy in an old game, and they get to become a friend, but not to Nathan. She Maisie Ross, who is like the partner character of that game, constantly is saying, "I hate the Drakes," and
Yeah.
Sam Drake turns up, and she's just instantly like, "Right, I'm gonna kill this guy." But no, it was really great because there was like a really interesting story in what was a really short game. Because Uncharted Thief's End was like something like 20 chapters long, I think.
Yeah.
And Uncharted Lost Legacy wasn't even half of that. I think it was only 8 or 9. Yet it felt completely full. It was so interesting and so
Yeah.
much fun.
Some people just know how to like make a short story intriguing.
Oh god, yeah. And it was And one of the things that I liked best about Thieves' End was at the very end was like there was this boss battle
Mm.
where you actually controlled the fight in a way. Like you had to block the attack, then parry or counter or hit while you had the opportunity. But it wasn't like one of those games where it's like, right, the enemy's stunned, just wail on them. It was more like a right, blocked it, got him, block again, shit, counter, fuck. And it was like, oh god, like because it wasn't easy. It was
Yeah.
an honest challenge. And then in Uncharted Lost Legacy, you get to do that on a few occasions against the boss, like
Mm.
in between points of the game, and it's like, oh my god, because it's genuinely difficult each time. It's not like you get to fight the boss early and he's weaker and you get to win and then he retreats. It's you fight the boss, he kicks your fucking ass, and then you have to recover
Yeah,
and not die because he does generally just snap your neck at any point of the fight.
yeah, like something that actually really gets your heart going. You're like, maybe I should actually be a bit more careful with this.
I think you did another video like a while back, and like I was just talking to you whilst I was playing this game, and I was like, "He's strangling me."
Yeah, I think that's when I did a Hearthstone live stream.
Yeah, he was genuinely strangling my character.
Yeah, it
I was
sounded
and, like
intense. I remember that.
everything was just getting dark, and I was like, "Am I actually being strangled?"
Yeah,
It was, but no, it's a very very fun game.
yeah, it does sound like quite intense and quite like challenging, and that's what some games lack sometimes. Is just that challenge aspect.
Yeah, too many games are just right. There's your objective. Go get it. Some
Yeah,
games are more like, right, do it this way, do it that way, do it whatever way you like. But Uncharted Lost Legacy has like a really good way of going, right, here's your objective. Do it any way you want to do it.
as long as you get it done.
Yeah. And it's like, well, that's what I've always wanted. A genuine objective with options.
Yeah, some games do give you like. I'm trying to think like I think Sniper Elite is one of the other games that I've not played but I've seen, and it's
Oh
you can
yeah.
choose how you approach a situation. You can be really stealthy about it, or you can just go all out and just take it
Yeah.
out. But it gives you the options.
And you can either shoot someone in the head or a testicle. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It gets the job done.
and like I know everyone hated the game, and I didn't enjoy the game to be honest either. But Assassin's Creed Unity, that gave you there was so many different ways you could approach a situation like an assassination.
Oh yeah.
Like it gave you different options, like optional objectives to change how the assassination went down to either make it easier. Like if you actually did them, sometimes it could make it more difficult. But it was an interesting way to go about things. It gave you options.
Yeah. I think that's one of the better things that's happening with games today. Like a game like Horizon Zero Dawn is just like there's so much to do and so many options, and yet it still has like a really strong and really well constructed story.
Yeah,
And admittedly, I only played like the very first bit of the game, but even that for me was like, oh, how lovely. And then I kept finding a way to find just a Thunderjaw, I think it's called. The big
mm.
T Rex robot. Every time I'd step out of my house, there would, and I was like, I don't want to play this no more.
Yeah, but
But
you're through with
I
it.
watched the whole thing, so I know it was a good game.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, there's a game that I've been watching tons of at the moment. Is Total War Warhammer 2, and I suspect a lot of people know like the Total War series, and it's a
Yeah,
strategy based game, and I wish I was better at it. I keep like meaning to practice. Like I've got the first one, and I want to just like practice and get good at it. But I just love it. It's like same again. It's like you can play it however you want. You can be diplomatic or just all out. Just obviously the whole point of it is to go to war, but you can be more friendly with other people and only go to war with specific people if you really want to.
yeah,
But it's so expansive. It's like the pack that they've just come out with at the moment is like the Mortal Empires pack, and every race from the first game and the second game, and you can just they've mashed both maps together, and you can just go all out war. There's no objective other than basically just wreck them,
sounds good.
and it's fun, and there's so many different mechanics in it. Each race like has its own mechanic and different way to play it,
Oh,
and it's just
nice.
so interesting.
I mean, I've never played the game myself, but I got to admit, I've only ever really heard of good things about it.
Yeah, like I said, I've never played like the historical Total Wars, which are usually like more popular. But these ones just like have piqued my interest, and I've just got so into them.
Mm. And it's like I love games like that, like the ones that just really draw interest.
Yeah.
Like some games can really do that. Like I remember when the first like Injustice Gods Among Us game came out, and
Mm.
it was like a similar story I'd heard of before with like an evil Justice League, but at the same time it wasn't. It was like a different kind of version of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's so good. And then obviously when Injustice 2 like literally just announced that it was going to have a sequel, I was interested instantly.
Yeah,
But
because
I
it was
think,
such a deep story and everything, and they made it like as part of like their main series. Like it's got its own comic book and everything now.
oh yeah, it's like its whole established like alternate universe.
Yeah.
But one of the things, like, as good a game as Injustice is, like, I think I do prefer the first one to the second one
Mm.
because, like, for one thing, the animation, like, style, like the way the characters look, to me looks a little better in the older one.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas in the newer one, they're a bit plastic and their facial expressions are a bit, you know, testy at points.
Mm.
And then again, like we were talking, like the story was huge and it had all of this kind of like comics, just all these different comic stories going out about it. But I think one of the issues was that Injustice 2 relied on the comics too much because like I went into the story and I just had no clue what was going on.
Yeah. So much has happened between the games.
Yeah.
It was just
Like
confusing.
somehow Wonder Woman is out, Black Adam has his own kind of like kingdom. And it's like I'm sure they touched on this in the comics, but I'd really like info in the game. Like I think like there's some games that do like a sequel really well, but then there are just some that really skip over the important details of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like another game that came out last year was Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Mm.
And this is like another way of doing a sequel, just not the right way, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know if you played it, I did, but I played like Ultra Moon,
Mm.
and I mean, it doesn't make any difference, the same game either way. But
Yeah, basically.
one of the things that I found really annoying was that the game was really too similar, if not an exact copy of just Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Like similar events play out all too alike from what it was in the last game, and it's I think it just takes away from the game, like the prior game that was really fun.
Yeah, but I suppose a lot of the Pokemon series was like that.
A
Because
lot
like
of
obviously
them,
you
a
get
lot of
like
them copy each other. Yeah, I've got to admit.
a lot of the like when you had Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Emerald was basically the same. There was just Rayquaza was more of a staple in the Emerald. That was it. It
Yeah,
just had there was a bigger emphasis on Rayquaza.
but I remember playing like Pokemon Platinum, which was like the first sequel game to Pokemon that I ever played, because I started with Diamond, and I remember
Mm.
playing Platinum and thinking, oh, at least this is similar, but it's like different. And it's similar with a lot of other games in Pokemon series, but Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were just way too similar to the original game, and it would just took away from it in some points.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And I
But
think
then, oh, sorry, you go on.
no, it's fine because I was gonna change the subject a little bit.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say like obviously one game that's out like came out last year and they're very similar but they're made by completely different people and everything. It's like PUBG and Fortnite.
Oh
Like they're
yeah,
two competing games and obviously they're very, very similar in their aspect, and there's plenty of similar battle royale games out there.
Mm.
And but there's such a split of people who enjoy one but not the other. And it's like I'm exactly the same. Like I've put quite a few hours into PUBG. Like me and my friends play it quite often. But I played one game of Fortnite and I was like, no, this is absolute rubbish. I don't want to.
You see, that's funny. I haven't played either, but I prefer like watching Fortnite to PUBG.
Yeah,
Because for me, PUBG it's realistic and it's good that it is. Like I think that's pretty cool. But I like the weird cartoony style that Fortnite has.
yeah, and like I can understand why some people do enjoy watching like Fortnite more because, like you said, it is that more interesting, cartoony, fun side, whereas PUBG is that more realistic thing.
Mm. But at the same time, like whilst they are similar games, they do have like that different aspect because like Fortnite has the crafting part of it, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
you can actually make like bases and well forts technically, um, and you can just come up with all sorts of different creative things. But I feel at the same time, whilst it's good for that game, PUBG is like very good with the whole, you know, I don't like all
realistic,
the different
tactical
kind of
side.
yeah, all the different kind of places are more realistic and like it's. I feel like PUBG's got more of a challenge aspect to it.
Yeah, I think Fortnite's more of that relaxed play
Yeah.
more than the like more competitive side of PUBG.
Mhm.
Whereas, which is actually kind of surprises me, like that I enjoy it more because I'm not that much of a competitive person, especially when it comes to gaming, because I know I'm not that good and I'm not someone who wins like ever. But I couldn't get into Fortnite at all.
Mm. I mean, I got to admit, I'm not much of a competitive gamer either. Like, I'll gladly compete with like someone who's playing the same game as me in like the same room, and like we're just playing it together, and it's just like, oh, I got a better score. But like an actual like battle royale style, I'm terrible at, so I don't
Yeah,
enjoy it so much.
yeah, that's me. Like I'm not good at those type of games, really. And I think I've still, even after like a year of playing computer like, with a PC, I'm still not that good with a keyboard and mouse, and I think that's why I struggle as well.
Yeah, but I do think playing with controllers is still better. I don't care what people say about the PCs; they are not great.
I find it easier playing with a controller. But I'm trying to move across to use a like keyboard and mouse because I'm playing on a PC and it does have the advantages and things, but just gotta get myself into the habit of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that, but that'll probably be like a whole other subject, and we could probably make a different podcast on
Yeah,
PC or
probably.
console. But I think just to finish it off, I think the last game I want to mention is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I can imagine you being that type of person that play that type of game.
Well, see, this is the only problem I've actually found with that game is that obviously to play it you needed a Switch.
Yeah,
I'm not going to buy a whole new game type console to play one game. Like that's the only issue I had with the Switch. But as of everything else with Breath of the Wild, I thought it was just a really kind of good looking game.
yeah. So I've never played any of the Zelda games or anything, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, like I've never played any of them, but I would play that one because like you know in all the other Zelda games, they look very similar to each other. It's like the Mario games; they look like they're basically the same game.
Yeah, pretty much.
But this one looked completely different, and I thought that's what really kind of like attracted me to it, because it wasn't obviously Link in like the green hat and the tunic. It
No,
was it
he
was
was
like a
quite
whole
different in
new
this one.
design.
Yeah, and it was intriguing. And part of me wants to get a Switch because I think there's going to be some cool games out on there, and I know the next Pokemon game's coming out on there and stuff. So
Yeah, I
I
think
might
if
get one
some
at
more
some point.
games do start coming out on it, I'll get one.
Yeah, I'm just not
But
getting it for one game. Like, I
yeah,
completely get what you mean.
even as good a game as Breath of the Wild looks, I don't think I'd
Still
get
a
it.
lot of money just for one game.
Yeah, like because I do really like the look of it though, because there was like one thing that was in it that's not in a lot of games was weapon durability. Like the more you use a weapon, the more it wears down,
Yeah,
and then eventually it can like break. I thought, oh, that's clever. Keeps you on your toes, and then like in most kind of fantasy games, when you go around collecting weapons, you kind of just like, oh yeah, I've got the platinum sword. I don't need that anymore. But now it's kind of like, fuck, my platinum sword broke. I need to buy another one.
yeah,
I like that kind of aspect. It's somewhat more real and interesting.
yeah. But that's the same. But for someone like me, I don't think I'd get annoyed with that, like having to get a new one all the time and things like that.
I think I'd get annoyed if it happened right at like the crucial moment of like a boss battle.
Oh yeah, that would be so infuriating.
Yeah. I mean, could you just imagine just like you're about to land the final blow and your sword just disappears and it's like, your sword broke. And it's like, you bastard.
Yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people's Switches would have lasted that.
No. Someone would have probably thrown their Nintendo Switch at the wall if that had happened.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then they would have had to buy a whole new Nintendo Switch just for that one game.
Yeah,
No, I think that mostly covers it then, doesn't it?
yeah. I
Like
think it was.
all the games
I
of
feel like it
last
was
year.
quite quick for this one, but actually no, it's about 27 minutes. But
Ah, nice timing.
yeah. Anyway, guys, so I hope you've enjoyed this one. This
I
one
did.
should be out on time. Yeah, no, I enjoy this one. Obviously, I'm more of a game person than I am a film person.
I'm a bit of both, just a total nerd.
Yeah, I do enjoy films. I just,
Just a yeah. Just don't
yeah,
even kind of go. No, Rob, you're kind of cool. Like, no, you're a nerd, Rob.
yeah, complete nerd. But so hopefully you guys enjoy this. Obviously, like I said, the next two episodes will be talking about what's happening this year or anything good and exciting. Especially, think we'll probably try and look more for what we're looking forward to,
Mm.
and then
I mean, I don't
so
want to talk about a film that looks shit.
well, no, obviously not. So I hope you enjoyed. Like if you did, and leave any suggestions
Subscribe
below.
for more.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
My face above the water. My feet can touch the ground, touch the ground. It feels like